Next up, Vasilis Gkogkidis. Is that right?
No.
No.
Otherwise known as Billy.
It's all right. We'll get you there. So Billy works for me for the last 4 or 5 months. 5 months. And he's done a postgraduate course at Brighton and recently finished. But he did take the gamification postgraduate module. That's delivered by me. Thanks. Can you take it from?
Yes, and we can do it.
And
Hi.
he me.
Hi everybody. My name is Vasilis, but you can all call me Billy. It's fine. I'm not gonna be offended. Okay. I should say a bit about myself and then talk about Manager's Path. That's the product we are building with Pete to engage and train managers more effectively. So, how did I get here? Because the accent is not British, obviously. I was born in Thessaloniki in Greece. That's where this accent is from. It's a very nice city. There I studied computer science. I didn't like coding though, very much. So I started teaching. At some point, I got a bit bored of that and I said I'll go and live abroad. That was something I always wanted to do. So I came to Brighton. Why Brighton? I don't know. It's good. It's a good place. I like it. Here in Brighton, okay. I did a postgrad on business management. Very nice. That's where I met Pete, as he said, his gamification course. So then, after we met, he invited me to do a project over the summer because I wanted to have some experience in the UK. So he talked to me about this project to train managers. And it would be in the form of a mobile application. So why did Pete have the idea to train managers though? What's the problem? So in the UK, employers spend about £3 billion annually on external trainers. It's a very reasonable number if you think about how many new employees are in each company every year and how many employees change roles in a company every year. Somebody may go from a technical position to a managerial position, or he can get promoted. They need to acquire new skills, new knowledge. So there's a lot of training going on. The thing is, what we identified as a problem was that, especially in technical companies, engineers and software developers, people did not have a management background. Maybe they never managed a team, so they had a problem when they started being managers. After 5 or 6 years, they got promoted, so they didn't really have any experience or knowledge, actually, from a management point of view. The engineering sector is pretty big in the UK, as you can see. And 1.5 million people work in digital companies. This is software engineering and such. So there is potentially quite a big market and quite a lot of companies that would like to use that tool in order to train new managers and existing ones a bit better and a bit faster maybe. Okay. No. Okay. Okay, that's it.
If you use one finger, you'll probably find that help. Just one finger.
So, how are we going to solve the problem? First, what we did is identify best management practices. We worked with an HR consultancy. They have been working for a long time in the UK in various industries, in training and learning. So we identified best management practices. What do managers need to do on a daily or weekly basis to become a bit better? Then we try to turn those practices into simply bite-sized prompts. Not big. We don't want them to read a book. We want something simple that they can understand immediately and apply it really fast. Do something like a work day. And our goal with gamification is to build habits. So how do we build these prompts and ideas from better management into habits? So after they stop using the application, they will have adopted those new habits and they will use them in their everyday job to make it a bit more effective and, you know, to improve their career. Let's do one. Yay! So why do we think Managers Path can work? First of all, it's cost-efficient training. It's not going to cost a lot compared to, you know, an external trainer or something like that. We're not proposing that there is none other training. We're not proposing this as a solution for everything. This is something to help training and actually accommodate it. Very important is the ease of access. It's very easy to access from your mobile phone, from a tablet or something, and you can actually do it any time of the day you want as a manager. It's going to be very easy to customize. We will build it in a way that it's going to be very easy to customize the prompts, however the organization needs and wants them to be, and, you know, branding, etc. And we have quite a lot of experience in gamification, so we strongly believe that we can motivate people to use it and get quite a lot of value out of this tool. And we designed a long engagement loop, because people cannot build habits very fast. They need some time to get used to new information, do something again and again. So, you know, after some months, they will say, you know what, actually this has been quite helpful, and it does work. So I would like to keep that as a habit. Ultimately, it's choice. You know, we're proposing some ideas, some management solutions, and they are judges of, did it help me, did it not help me? You know, we're not forcing anything on anybody. So, let's have a look at some of the gamification elements we are introducing. By the way, we haven't developed this. This is on the design level. So we have a prototype on Marvel, on the prototyping apps. Quite helpful if you want to quickly build something and see if it's working, see how it looks. So yeah, first of all, choices. We are giving the users a choice. 3 categories: blue, green, and yellow. Or they all represent something different. Different skills that the manager should have, in our experience. For example, the first one talks about the employee's family, personal life. We're trying to connect managers to employees, have a bit more of a personal relationship. The second one, for example, talks about feedback. We want to care about the people that work for us. Managers should care about the people that work for them. And the last one is about projects. We want to make sure that managers monitor the projects correctly and they have people involved and motivated to actually participate in the project. So choices are very important in games. Choices and autonomy are some elements that really empower the user, the player, to go on and try to achieve his goals. Because Managers Path, we want to be all about autonomy and empowering managers. We don't want people to feel that something is missing. We want them to feel that they are getting better at being managers. We don't want them to feel that, you know, oh, I'm not a really great manager, I need to do all this stuff. We just want them to feel empowered. So choices are a big part of empowering in games. The next slide. So we're going to give them quests. We're going to send them in small missions, everyday or weekly missions to interact with their employees. We'll have a timer. It's going to be mainly a work day, or maybe 2, depending on the task that they have to perform. We have a small description. Again, this is an idea for the prompts that we want to give them, very simple, nothing too complicated. We don't want them to get lost in too much information. We don't want them to read books. We want to give them ideas about how to improve their everyday management style. So after they've done this, after they've asked me, you know, how things are at home, they press the done button and then we give them some feedback. This is the feedback screen. We have 2 bars. One, we name it level, but it doesn't have points or anything. We use steps. So it shows you how many steps you walked down the mountain's path. We try and kind of tie everything with a concept, a theme for the whole application. So we don't use the term points, but steps. And the other one, people say that you need to do something for 21 consecutive days in order to become a habit. So we kind of give them a feedback of how many times they did the task, so they know how close they are to the end goal. Feedback is very important, as you know from games. It's a way to show mastery, and it's a way to show to people how close they're getting to the goal they have set, or the game set for them. So we feel that the feedback screen is very important in order for people to feel that, you know what, I'm actually getting better at this, you know. I am going somewhere. And the last bit I'm going to show you is about mastery again. People need to feel that they have built something. They should feel empowered, they should feel that they are getting better at it. That they're not missing anything, but they are adding to the management skills. So we again have the three categories: people skills, people development, and company or project development. Again, coded with colors, so there is a bit of a visual feedback there. We're going to give them, it's basically, anybody that has played an RPG game, it's going to be kind of like it. So as you progress through the game, you get new skills appearing, a new skill map, and you have some empty slots, so you know they know that something is coming, there's more to the game, there are more things to learn, and hopefully they're going to look forward to learning a bit more. That's it, thank you.
Any questions?
I was just wondering, are you going to have like a line manager of the manager console? Because I just wonder about sort of tracking and evidencing that they have in fact done these things, because I just know from a recent sort of gamification thing I did that there were people who just kind of lied and cheated the system and kept saying yes, 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 yes.
Yes. That was the first bit of a problem we had with it. When we started talking about the idea, that was like my first question to Pete. How are you going to tackle this problem? Because it just can say, yeah, I've done it. Yeah, and just get the points and stuff. I can't answer you really. There's no way to make sure that they do this, because there's nothing they can do on the problem, there's nothing they can do on the application. This is something they need to do. It's like on Todoist. When you make a list on Todoist, you're on Todoist, the app that kind of tracks your productivity. So you make a list of the things you need to do for the day or the week, and then you actually say, yes, I've done it, and give you some points and whatnot. You can gain that pretty easily. You can say, yeah, I've done it, yeah, I've done it, you know. So there's no way to actually track it like this.
That's what we were discussing how to do at the beginning of the week. We're putting some reflective type questions in. So how did it work? Asking Billy about his hobbies, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And what we're discussing at the moment is whether to just do simple feedback, like it worked, it didn't, it caused a major rupture, you know, whatever it is, or actually getting someone to write a sentence about it. But what we don't want to do is track real information about employees and worry about data protection.
The thing is, they can probably game this too. They can probably game the feedback too. So we are looking at, you know, actually convincing them to use it in an honest way, you know, to actually use it. Give it a go, see if it works for you. If it doesn't, give us some feedback, you know, maybe we can change something, make it a bit better. So there's no way to actually make 100% sure that they've done it, that they perform the task, you know. So we want to tell them, maybe do some consulting before that, and actually convince, you know, the bosses of the company or the managers to tell them, you know, give it a go. If it works, let us know. If it doesn't, you know, let us know again, and we'll try and improve it.
I think something that would be quite compelling and not sort of broach the data protection issue is if after a certain period of time you were given some kind of reflective report of what you've overseen, and then you can present that to your line manager saying.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what we were thinking of doing. Actually getting some feedback from the people using it, and then presenting that. Or, you know, improving on it. Maybe people will have an idea that's actually really good. And maybe they will find problems that we can't see at the moment. So, and every organization is very different. That's why it's very important to be customizable and change things, easily and quickly for them. So,
Just kind of sharing some thinking that we did and some insight that we learned through taking apps out there and showing them to people. You can't beat feedback. You absolutely cannot beat feedback, and it changes the way that you look at a lot of things. So perhaps I can see where the sensitivities would be in that app, because there will be a percentage of employees that will sit there and go, this is like Big Brother, and I can see you're going to be tracking me, and then I'm going to be performance analysed against all the other people in my thing, and that's instant heckles. I'm not going to do this properly, so I'm just going to put in whatever and just it's fantastic or whatever, and not actually use it. But that comes back to the first bit is engaging people to build the apps themselves. So engaging employees to structure that app so that they feel part of it and that they develop it. Even though perhaps they're not, because you know the directions that you want to go, but involving them in that co-creational part of that development would probably be something that kind of app would really benefit from, because the learning that you would get from that as to what the company's like as a whole and how they would, they want to interact with each other, and whether or not they're competitive led, or whether or not they're team spirit led, or whether or not they're led by something completely different. Would be really powerful in getting them to engage with it. It's a challenge, but I think it's a great idea. It's a lovely idea to see, how do I balance my work life with my home life, and how do I become a good manager, and what does a good manager mean to different people?
Yeah, so for me the very interesting thing was, how do you combine the best management practices, which are things that, the HR consultants that we are working with, they have been working on that for a long time. And they have been working on training managers for a long time. And basically they boiled all the feedback they got and all the experience in a list of things that, would apply to most managers in most industries, in most positions. And they are quite broad, to be honest, and that's good. Because you don't have to, because they actually work. That means they actually work. Mm-hmm. So for me it was very interesting, how do you combine this list of things that they're good for them to do with the gamification element, with the game, and and at the same time, how do you make sure you're not tracking anything and people don't feel like it's a Big Brother or anything? And that's why we focus a lot on managers and not employees, because it's good for the managers but has nothing to do with the employees. It's not about tracking what the employees do, their productivity or anything like that. And actually, it's not tracking any productivity for the managers too. It's all about learning and improvement. It's a training tool, basically, and we have to introduce it to companies like one, not like a productivity tool. It's not a productivity tool. It's about actually starting a conversation, if you'd like, about how do we improve.
One of the markets for it is individuals who come to us and said, I've been promoted to being a manager and I have no support or training. I just need something to help get better at managing. And they're not getting that support necessarily from the company. So we've got two markets for it. Putting it on an app store and just letting people download it, use it, and to be honest, I'm the perfect customer for it as well. I'm rubbish at people's but the other is to white label it and have an involved process with the company, because they've probably got some company culture type things they want to inculcate as well as that general management ideas. So there's
actually a startup in Brighton that deals with this kind of things. It's going to do something different. I don't know if you heard about it.
Yeah.
They do very similar things. So they try to change the way that people actually behave. So by taking the small steps at the beginning, they keep aiming to have some kind of goals. So for example, you'll get a message. You go through the onboarding process, which is quite interesting as well to look at. It's quite gamified, and you kind of like saying who you are. So depending on who you are, then they have a specific task for you to complete. And the first task, for example, could be like go to work different way. And they start to challenge you a little bit more as the program progresses. And there are different programs that they're doing. And one of them is the management program, which my company went through. So basically, they try to introduce the goals. And the way they're actually measuring is by feedback. So they're dealing with companies, and they're hoping that people actually are honest on a daily basis. And if actually company pays for you to actually get some out of it, you know, people will be more likely to actually use it in such a way. So
To be honest, I think most people who volunteer to use it, because I don't think people should be forced to use it, will want to benefit from it. So they should do feedback.
absolutely.
And also you'll have all the anecdotal type feedback, because their team should be performing more effectively. We're just not tracking that in the app.
I find something that you just said really fascinating. You said go to work in a different way.
Yeah, so what they're dealing with, they do something different, is actually dealing with behavior change. So what they found is basically developed by psychiatrists from Holland. And what they found during their 15 years of studies of behavior in humans is that it's very difficult to actually take a really big task straight away if you're not used to do some changes in your life. So for somebody who is sitting on a couch for their entire life, you know, it's very difficult to suddenly step out of the couch, be healthy, quit smoking and stuff like that. So what they're trying to do is basically break it up a bit by just chunk by chunk, just taking away from.
You think of how that permeates in a kind of like siloed thinking and down the track thinking, and how go to work in a different way, eat a different breakfast, say hello to a different person than you.
That's
said.
exactly what they do as well. One of the goals. One of the goals is actually that. But it depends who you are, so it's actually tuned to your personality as well. So you might say, I'm actually struggling to talk with people, then you might get to do like that. For me, actually, it's the opposite. So I'm actually stay quiet for a day.
And you're doing so well.
I just wanted to ask how you think you might, have you got any ideas about how you might tackle some of the tracking fatigue? So I'm looking at health apps at the moment, and from personal experience, you hit about the 4-month mark, and even the most determined person, you just start to really go, what's the point of getting things that are sort of on this plateau? What are we going to do next?
Yeah, I guess it's the same as games. So we have to build into prompts that get it a bit more difficult. As we were just discussing about this app, that it gets you step by step, and you start performing more difficult tasks as time goes by, and as you actually have built the easier ones, so you'll have kind of levels of difficulty.
Do you think you'll work with some incentivization with the companies that you'll look at?
Yeah, I think.
I don't think so.
No.
But to be honest, all we want the people to do is use it long enough for them to become habits.
True.
Right? And then after that, basically it becomes a reminder system if you want to use it as a crutch, really, to stay being, that's the bit I'll be using, to be honest. Hopefully it will become a habit, but I'm pretty sure I'll need the reminders. Have you spoken to any of your staff today? Let's do that. So that's hopefully how we get around that. The issue is with some of the activities, you wouldn't want to do them every day. I can't ask him what his hobbies are every day, that would be ridiculous. Have your hobbies changed? No idea.
I think the thing with the health apps as well is that they, I religiously used Fitbit I still do obviously, but I religiously used it first off for everything that I ate. Went to the gym, did everything by the book, but then I actually found it was getting in the way of the rest of my life. So I was going to the gym, I had to go and make sure I'd input all the food, and I was calculating all the food, and I realised that's half an hour out of my day I spent calculating how many calories there were in that apple I just ate. And it's just like, oh, for God's sake. And then you're scrolling through, you think, you know what, that's gone too far the other way. So I think you're right, there is a level of habit making, 21 days if that's the...
Yeah, well, there might be 21 weeks for some activities. But also, if you've got 8 members of staff, that's 8 times you can do the hobby question process. So.
Yeah.
The interesting thing for me is some of the really positive feedback you get from playing with this app is actually from the people that you're managing. Because you find out more about them and you have really interesting social interactions, and you find out more about how to help them develop and stuff. And so I think a lot of the positive engagement out of it is actually outside the app. Just as long as you ask the right questions that the app's reminding you to. So I think, well, we're doing some play testing on a paper version. Yeah, so and it's already, I didn't know what his hobbies were until we actually did this, because I'm rubbish at this type of thing. So.
It's quite interesting when you look at the several apps that have been demoed before this one, the different levels of like engagement and how people are engaging, from kittens through to I can't remember the phrase.
Equal Ecosia, that one, or the shared
Yeah,
one?
the Ecosia, where it was kind of like it was a big, meaningful kind of mission that you're on, and then through to something that's sort of kind of trying to take the edge off corporateness and that kind of big wall of technology thing. So each one of them were approaching it from a slightly different perspective. Get the software to do the work, that's what I'm saying.
And was there one person here?
Yeah, I've got a I mean, to say it with the Fitbit thing, if you with the Apple, if you just took a picture, it'd probably be a lot easier to do the calculation and things like that. That's a matter of simplification.
Yeah.
But,
Isn't that does that now, isn't it?
Yeah.
probably, but that's something you would it'll work out, and that probably just got click. It works out, you don't worry about it anymore. But that's the case of simplification of the application. I mean, one thing I would say about this game, the product, it's an app and it's always with you at any time, so that you can always just dig in, and it's with you all the time. It's not on a corporate database. I mean, the only thing I would query about that, do you get any resistance from people for putting something that's essentially a corporate app on your phone? Was there any kind of resistance?
I think there's always an issue with getting people to download an app, because
Guys,
that's 20,000 a month.
That's going to completely change. BYOD will kind of completely do away with that kind of worry about that anyway. So I say that quite boldly, but lots of Vodafone's one of our biggest customers. BYOD is a big thing for them. American Express, big thing for them. That kind of sharing.
Everything's going that way now with all the banking and things like the banking apps. Security is a little bit of an issue at the moment.
Sure.
It's a good question, and I think one of the biggest issues with all apps is just getting people to download them in the first place, and that's where there's another level of gamification people should be doing.
Yeah, I mean,
just on that, getting people to have a go at that.
every time you add another line on in your entry when you're trying to get on, you lose 10%, 20%. Yeah, I used to work for Truthful, and we did some stuff where we'd get people to log on and we make it slightly difficult, and you could lose an awful lot of people. But that's kind of a separate issue. I mean, the important thing is that you've got it with you, that you could, I mean, something like that, you could do a Siri-like interface. So you go, again, it's simplification. What should I do today? And
Hi Alexa, which employee should I
hassle to do it, yeah. But anyway, that's tonight. Another thing is, sometimes, you remember that there's a book where people throw a dice and...
Dice Man.
Yeah, dice man, yeah. Yeah, sometimes it feels a bit like that with the gamification.
Well, in this case, you still get a choice though. So
Yeah, you do, yeah, that's true.
I think we'll wrap up Billy's talk there, but a round of applause.